Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Club Soda Wise Bartender live tasting session. You'll notice that I'm not Anya, so Ed's going to have to do all the heavy lifting on proper tasting words today, aren't you, Ed?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how it goes. I know you know your stuff as well, so we'll be absolutely fine.
Well, we might be all right on the first one if we do the kombucha first. But what's been happening in Wise Bartender World today, Ed? I think you've got some news.
Well, we've
Shelving.
we put up lots of shelving, lots of racking, and it's I think we're maybe about halfway there. So we're expanding into a new warehouse. We're finally going to have some room to breathe. The one we're in at the minute is sorry,
alcohol-free drinks.
Yes, immense amount, pallets and pallets, bottles everywhere. So where we are at the minute is we're all over each other. So it'd be nice to finally get a bit of space.
Literally, you can't move for alcohol-free drinks at their place at the minute. So that's really exciting, and it just shows that there's a real growth in the low and no space at the moment, and you've got more alcohol-free products coming. So we've got a box this week that's got a big bottle of spirits in it. So I thought we'd go to that last because there's lots of things to say about Strike and Strike spirits. But I thought we should start today with the kombucha.
Yeah, I've been really excited for this box. Whenever I packed it, whenever it was last Monday, I just got some absolute bangers in here, and and that big bottle of Strike that I've not actually tried yet. So super excited.
So this is I Kombucha, which actually used to be called Clever Kombucha.
Yeah, I might still call it Clever Kombucha by accident. I can't get it out of my head.
I know. And the woman who makes it in Scotland, in Edinburgh, is absolutely lovely, and she's done some really experimental flavours. And so we picked this one because it's lime and sea salt. Shall I explain what kombucha is, Ed? Because this is one thing that I do know.
Yeah. Please do.
So kombucha is a fermented green tea based drink, and it's actually very ancient. That's it in the glass. It's very. It's an ancient drink, and it's also a live drink because it's made by putting a live culture on top of it. It's called a SCOBY, and that is what helps produce the drink. And what you start off with is a green tea, a brewed green tea, and then you put lots of sugar in it. But never fear, the sugar is not for you, it's for the SCOBY. And over the period of fermentation, SCOBY eats that sugar and transforms it, helps transform the drink and ferment it, basically. So actually, by the end, what you've got is a very low sugar drink that is also very acidic, which is why kombucha makes a really good alcohol-free alternative. Now, to me, a natural flavoured kombucha, so one without lime and sea salt in, makes a great alternative to scrumpy cider, personally. And there's lots of great kombucha makers making, something that tastes a bit more like a prosecco, or things that taste a bit more like a lager by using different teas. But these guys do great things with flavours, which I thought why it was a really good choice. So let me try some. They ferment theirs in aged oak as well, don't they? So
yeah, French oak.
French oak.
Yeah, that's it. The kombucha making process is very similar to cider, so I think you still get the same sort of cidery notes.
Yeah, and this one I can even smell appley and dry notes in it, even though it's sea salt. It's definitely got this has got a smell more of a very nice light cider, not a scrumpy. I know most people.
No, definitely.
But it's got a lovely smell. And sometimes, if you bought kombucha in the health food store, often they're a really badly made kombucha with lots of fruit slapped on top. So you have to pick your kombucha as well, and the better kombuchas do come at the price. And this is one of them. You can already tell by the smell that
definitely
not too acidic and it's not too overdone. And so you're going to get a really nice finish on this. Oh, I have to say that has just come in as one of my because I was expecting that, because flavored kombuchas can sometimes be really heavy on the flavor that they put in because they're trying to cover up a really bad kombucha. But what they've done is not covered up their kombucha here. They've used lime and sea salt to delicately flavor what is an exceptional kombucha underneath. That's really exciting.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly balanced between fragrant, fruity, and acidic. Because it's got just a bit of everything. Nothing's too overpowered anywhere. So
yeah, just to let you know that acidity is important. Alcoholic drinks have acidic notes, which is why you drink them slower. Acidity sounds like it must be a terrible thing. Actually, in adult alcohol-free drinks, it's a really positive thing. Too acidic, like the really cheap wines you might have drunk. Too acidic, no. And this is just perfectly balanced.
Yeah, absolutely fabulous. And it's just got a really nice dryness as well. So it's not too dry, but it just sort of sits underneath the bottom of your tongue. It really gets the side of your cheeks. Bloody tasty.
Yeah, and again, some kombuchas can be oversweet because they've not let all of the sugar process, whereas clearly they've done that here. You get a lovely little bit of lime and that citrusy note on the nose.
Yeah, so the lime definitely comes through quite well, and then I think the sea salt sort of brings it down a notch, if you know what I mean. So it's not too citrusy, so it works. Yeah, I'd say really balanced with the acidity.
I love this kombucha maker's work. You've got some better kombuchas. You've got left field, and you've got real kombucha and kombucha, and actually your kombucha range is really, really good. There isn't actually. I've tried them all, and there isn't a fault in any of them in terms of quality of the base booch, as they would say underneath.
Yeah, the base booch. No, so the reason why we got them in because we thought they were really good.
Oh, I'm very happy. Right, can we finish now, Ed? And I'm just going to finish the bottom myself.
Yeah, save it for after. Don't worry.
Oh,
there's still time.
It's funny how, though it's lime, it's still I guess with the kombucha, there's a Vocal Appley type smell on the nose to me.
Yeah, definitely. It's like it's appley, but it's not. It's not false. Do you know what I mean? It's very pure.
Which means we're keeping quite sour actually, because we've got a sour next in terms of the Michele. Oh wait a minute, look, I didn't put the thing up. There we are. Look,
there we go.
Lime sea salt. Da 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 da. I know what I'm doing. La, 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 la. But this is our next one. This is the Michele. Michele do great alcohol-free beers. They do loads of them, and they've also started to pop bars up around the UK, which they just started before lockdown. And I've now seen a couple of bars in London, and I'm not sure whether they're hitting other cities at the moment. But
they are. They've got them. They've got them all over the world. They've got them in Amsterdam all the way to Tokyo.
Yeah, which means that they also stock their full range of alcohol-free. So you go in, and it's not just one. They've got their drink in the sun and the drink in the snow and all of those beers, and they do quite a lot of different alcohol-free beers. What other ones have you got in? Do you know?
Yeah, so we've got the Henry and His Science, which is one of their most popular ones. Microbiological sort of tasted ale, and then we've got Henry Goes a Lightly, which is a goza, so made with salt, and that was super refreshing. But it's based on the Henry and His Science, and we've had so many because we've had some come and go, so they're really big in their alcohol-free beers.
Yeah, and they were one of the first out there. And I remember when we did our first alcohol-free beer tasting in like 2016. That was quite a long time ago. Their Heineken Zero wasn't even on the market then. This was Drink in the Sun was one of the ones that we had on that. But this is a sour beer, and it's got raspberry in it. Different beer. Tell me, Ed.
Well, this is a Flemish primitive. So a Flemish primitive, right, is what Michele have created with De Prof from Belgium. They do loads of their own alcohol-free beers, so they know what they're doing. But what makes it Flemish primitive is that it's so Michele have their own yeast called Michelensis, and I'm definitely saying that wrong. But it makes all of their beers have a very distinct taste. There's definitely sort of passion fruit that comes through with the yeast. But it's really exciting for them to be able to have their own yeast, because that's like a really big deal. It would have been like made from their own cultures, and they would have been doing it over the last sort of probably 5 to 10 years. So just like you have the SCOBY in a kombucha,
or your own starter for sourdough.
Yeah, exactly.
It comes from the one same thing. I mean, I realise now that there's a whole geeky world of yeast out there, because the development of the lazy yeast that helps develop alcohol-free beers now is actually a technological improvement. And yes, the fact that they've got their own yeast.
Yeah, absolutely. And it means like nobody else will be able to make beers like they do, like they taste. And if you put them all together, you can sort of, like, if you did a blind test, you'd be able to pick out a Mikkeller beer, I reckon.
Oh, well, I can definitely smell raspberries in this beer.
Yeah, you can see it's nice and red, and it's clear, not too hazy.
So tell me.
Yeah. So the raspberries really get to your nose, don't they?
Ooh.
Have you had this before?
No. I was working on the basis that you would know more about this because it's beer, and I'm still new to it.
Yeah.
I've got Yusi here already. Hey, bring back my kombucha.
Is it gone?
Never had.
It's very tasty.
So tell me, because this is a sour, and a sour is a very particular type of beer. Tell us about it and what makes things a sour.
Well, it's essentially just a different yeast they use. So the Michelensis yeast would naturally be quite sour. And then they would have chosen the raw materials, so the hops and the malts, to complement it and give it a good body. This is quite an introductory sour in the world of sours.
Some of them don't like that.
Literally, some of them will put your eyeballs in the back of your head, but this is actually I think it's quite delicate. I mean, there is definitely a sourness, but it is more subtle than the real punchy ones.
Yeah, I've had some sours that are very punchy, whereas this just leaves a little bit of, I can feel the sourness around the side of my tongue. So I guess that's where the sour tasting buds are. And I can really feel that, but it hasn't made me, it hasn't fought with my perceptions of what a beer is. No. By being overly sour. And I think you have to get used to drinking a sour. So you're right, this is a good introductory sour. The raspberry isn't overpowering. It's not like having a Ribena or a raspberry smoothie. It's a light raspberry taste.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I really like about these is they're not too beery. So like if you were blind tasting this and someone put it in front of you, you wouldn't have thought it was a beer, I wouldn't say.
No, it's beer has often got has got a bitterness to it, which if you've never drunk beer, and I never drank beer when I was a drinker, and if you've been drinking wines, actually this is a perfect beer for you to get into beers. It's got it's a raspberry taste, a bit of sourness, but none of that bitterness that comes with a beer that you may have turned your nose up if you weren't a beer drinker. And what we know is that people who drink wine do switch to alcohol-free beer when they change their drinking habits. And so I definitely put this one into one for you to try if you like your wine.
Yeah, perfect. And it's in
ciders or anything like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's a good amount of sweetness to this as well, because sometimes when you have the sour, they'll try and top it the other way, make it too sweet to try and combat some of the sourness. But they've really kind of left the subtle sourness, let the raspberry do the work, and really get the sweetness from there. So it's really nice.
It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. I feel very privileged that there are people making drinks like this out there that I can drink, when before there was bugger-all, which is a technical term, I think. Bugger-all.
Like I said, they are pioneers because they've really created so many like fruit beers, and like fruit beers in the alcohol-free world are notoriously hard to produce. So the fruit usually tends to react with the yeast once it's been packaged, and then that means it re-ferments. So you might have seen some exploding cans in your time, and that is usually why. But more and more, the brewers are getting around it, and I think Mikkeller are definitely ahead of the game.
You know your beers, though, don't you, Ed? Didn't you used to work for beer?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I used to work in a brewery.
Yeah, there we are. See, now you're bang on trend. Talk about alcohol.
Yeah.
You see, could you get me another glass? Glasses, and I want to finish. I don't want to get rid of any of the things I've got.
Yeah.
Finish them all.
Have them later on.
Yeah. Have more with dinner. Hey, you sold him a beer now. Honestly, see.
You're not gonna have much left.
So I do feel like that the large proportion of this box this month has been taken up by a big bottle of Strike.
Yes.
So their new vanilla vodka. So I mean, it's I think Strike are a fascinating company. They are, there were things like Seedlip that were coming in at nearly £30 a bottle. Strike positioned itself as a cheaper option to that, but also they're coming out with some really interesting flavors, and they also use some capsicum, isn't it, in their ingredients somewhere, which gives you a bit of a burn, which I think is really interesting.
There's a real nice warmth to it.
So all of their products have got that feel to it. And also, I mean, they've actually been bought by AG Bar, which is the same company that does Funkin cocktails. So they're now mixing these with the Funkin cocktail mixers, which, if you've not come across, are really handy if you're not drinking and your shit is making cocktails, as I am, because the base cocktail mix is alcohol free, and it's designed to either put alcohol with or now strike with. So if you want to make a porn star martini, they've got a porn star martini base. If you want to make an espresso martini, they've got that as a base, and all sorts. And you can get those in lots of the supermarkets as well. So actually, if you're not a big cocktail maker, but you want to make cocktails of spirits, I do recommend the Funkin cocktail mixes as well. But let's go with this, Ed. What have you opened yours?
Only just to prep it, no further.
I've just opened mine, and I've already got this big waft of vanilla.
Yes.
I can smell it. It's I'm going to do it neat first of all.
Absolutely.
Producers will tell you not to drink it neat first of all. It's designed to go with the mixer, and that's really important. Often I find people will get an alcohol-free spirit and they'll try it neat. They go, I don't like it. They really are designed to go with the mixer. And just remind you that the alcoholic spirits are also designed to go with the mixer. If you drank gin neat, generally, vodka neat, bit shit. So, don't expect more from your alcohol-free spirit than you do from your alcoholic spirit, right? I often see people judge it more harshly than that they would alcohol. So do it with the mixer. But the reason why I thought we should taste it without is because I want to get that smell of vanilla is just intoxicating. It's really good. And
it smells really. It smells toffee as well, don't you think? And buttery. Like, I just put my nose in a bag of popcorn.
Or Werther's Originals, no?
Werther's Originals, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I love tasting the spirits neat. I think it just gives you a good idea of where they are, what they're trying to do. But obviously you're absolutely bang on. You need to have it with a mixer, but I love to have a good initial taste.
You probably don't need as much mixer as you did with an alcoholic drink, I often find. So I'm already feeling that burn here, just so you know that I'm a really big wimp when it comes to chili and stuff like that. So you're probably going, I feel nothing, Laura. What are you on about? And I'm like, I feel it here. Not terrible. It's not horrible. It's that same sort of burn as I would have got if I drunk a whiskey or actually any spirit, really.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm quite a veteran of spice, to be honest with you. And yeah, I still get it back of the throat and going down. And it's
I really like that vanilla. Sometimes, because I cook with vanilla a lot, vanilla can taste very overpowering, can smell very overpowering, and can also taste a bit fake sometimes. And this isn't this at all. It's a lovely, subtle vanilla. It smells wonderful. And it
smells amazing.
And it doesn't overtaste of vanilla, if you see what I mean. It doesn't. It's not all vanilla hiding something terrible underneath. It is a lot better than that. I can't believe I've dribbled so much of this on my desk. I can't pour drinks anymore. Ed. What's going on? Wait a minute, I'm going to use my this is why I'm never in charge of running a bar before. put in the box to go with this 2 things really: a tonic, which we'll come to in a minute. But I wanted to come to the Square Root Cola. As you know, we're big Square Root fans here, and if you ever want drinks that are just exceptionally made, then Square Root is it. And I went and visited them this week as well. I went to see their new juicing machine, which is much bigger than their old juicing machine, and their new bottling. They've got even more bottling and labelling plant now. But the important thing about this is they've got over half the sugar of a cola that you would get on a gun, because they put far less sugar in, they put far more natural ingredients and fruit in. And this is how cola should taste.
It is.
Oh, I want to taste it separately. I'm going to swig it from the bottle.
Yeah.
Put it in the bottle.
This is hands down my favourite cola, like by a long way. It's not shouted it out enough, but there's no caffeine in this. So I stopped drinking caffeine probably about 7 years ago now, and this is just the best thing for me.
It's great because I don't like the popular ones that you might get in a venue. I've never liked them. I went off them. I remember actually the point when I went off them, it was about when I was about 10. I really stopped liking cola. But I've discovered that, you know, a handmade cola or a cola like this is totally different. It doesn't taste like that. Those mass manufactured ones, and this is beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely got the distinct rich cola flavour, don't you reckon?
Yeah. And suddenly I like it. I'm going, oh, this is an interesting drink. Why have I not tasted this before? It's not very sweet. There's no coating of your teeth with sugar in there.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting, complex.
So you definitely don't get the furry teeth like you would normally.
No, and it's just, again, you could drink 7 of these in an evening, which you couldn't do with a manufactured cola. It's what they do really well at Square Root, actually, which is to make low sugar but really fresh drinks. I mean, these only last 6 months on the shelf, whereas I suspect some of the most popular brands will survive a nuclear explosion or climate change. It would still be there. That gives you an idea. Should we pair it with the vanilla? Yeah,
absolutely. Let's do it. Let's get the strike in there. What ratio are you doing?
Some with some. Do you like that ratio?
Yeah, perfect. Same as me, actually.
I think it's about half and half.
Yeah, I think I'll go half and half to start with.
Yeah. I definitely go, I'm not sure about you, but I go smaller on the mixer with an alcohol-free spirit, and I probably go a little bit more on the spirit than you would do if you were doing it in a pub with 25 mils or 35 mils. So
yeah, absolutely. No, you're bang on with that one. Exactly the same. You can smell the strike through the cola.
You definitely smell the strike through the cola. That's just.
Oh, yeah, I'm still getting the buttery popcornness as well.
I can't believe I'm drinking a vodka and Coke. Like, I've never done this. I would never drink a vodka and Coke. I'd have had maybe a vodka and tonic if there wasn't any gin available. I was obviously a gin girl, you know.
Do you know, that is really lovely.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, and you can get the strike definitely comes through at the end as well. So you still got big sweetness from the cola to start with.
Yeah.
And then vodka.
Yeah.
That nice is warming from the
You know, when you get something that's a perfect pairing and you get it. I mean, I always assumed that most mixers for a spirit are ultimately about disguising the spirit. Because basically what you want is the alcohol. Now, when you're not drinking, that's not what you're after. You're after something more complex, something a little bit more exceptional, something that you can sip, something that feels like a bit of a treat. This ticks all those boxes for me. I've got a nice little bit of heat going on here, and I've got a really lovely flavour combination here that made me excited, but it's also got some natural speed bumps in, so I'm not wanting to knock it back like I've just got a half a Coke. Or I'm trying to get completely pissed out of my head, which is the other reason why you'd knock it back. In fact, it'd be hard pushed to really drink this very fast anyway, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. It is certainly complex. There's definitely sort of a bit of a journey going on through your mouth.
Yeah, I really like that. I'm gonna just give it to you here. He's gonna swap round with me. Give me your glass. See what you think of that. I've got a special assistant off camera.
Yeah, I need one of those.
Oh, let's try that one again. I thought we should try it with the tonic as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
With vodka and tonic people. And again, some people might not like that cola-y taste. I'm still failing to pour drink properly. So we've got the top below. It's just a classic one, actually, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about you, but I'm drinking a lot of tonic this summer. When I'm hot, I'm finding I'm craving tonic.
Oh yeah.
That means I'm not drinking water, and I want the bitterness of the tonic.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good way to go. No,
so, what you've basically got in Strike is a very low calorie, if not almost 0 calorie, sugar free.
Yeah, it's got no sugar and no fat.
No sugar and no fat in, so healthy.
Yeah.
And then we've got 12 below tonic, which is
12 calories per 100 ml.
So basically, with that, and with 100 ml of this, I'm only drinking 12 calories. I'm living what it is.
It's mad, really, for how good it tastes, isn't it? Like, 12 calories.
12 calories, yeah.
Quarter of a bag of crisps.
I don't mention crisps. I want crisps now. This is just a normal tonic. Have to say, I do prefer it with the cola.
Do you? I think I prefer it with the tonic. Do you know what? I think the vanilla really comes through.
It does come through, but I'm just surprising myself at the fact that I'm saying I prefer it with the cola for someone who's not drunk cola for 40 years nearly.
Wow.
Am I really that old? I'm that old. My glasses and everything, Ed, look.
Way to do it, have them on all the time. Do you know, I'm really enjoying that. I do like 12 below tonics. Again, it's one of my favourites. It's not as quinine-y as a lot of the other tonics.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, the agave really gives it a nice round sweetness. And I think it's the perfect tonic to go with the alcohol-free spirits. Because obviously, it's not quite as strong as like your fever trees or what have you. You can really get the flavours of the spirit more. I
tried to do that gargling thing like professionals do, and I nearly choked. I shouldn't do that, should I? And hopefully we're going to bring some more tonics into the boxes in future. I'm speaking to Double Dutch, who do really beautiful tonics today, and also London Essence, which I actually been drinking quite a bit of, mainly because I stole it from your office last time I was there. But I'm gaining a new affection for that. So, and they've got some interesting flavours, so we're going to give some of those a go as well. But you're right, it does go beautifully, and with lots of ice, that's going to be a really refreshing and lovely drink. The other thing that Strike does, we talked about the fact that you can mix it with Funkin' cocktails. It also makes a really good espresso martini, of which I've already had one today. And the Liar's coffee liqueur goes really well with that. Have you got the coffee liqueur in?
We will do. We're waiting for it to arrive, but it's on the way.
Everyone's waiting for things to arrive these days at the minute because of all of the problems with delivery, but it must be driving you all bonkers. But again, this is a wonderful ingredient to keep in your house for all sorts of not only cocktails and doing yourself an espresso martini, but it's also great for cooking. Probably shouldn't tell you that. That's not. It's all for drinking, people. But I do love it when an alcohol-free drink doubles up as a really good cooking ingredient. Actually,
definitely.
It made me happy during the first lockdown. I can tell you, when I decided to make as many things out of all of the drinks that I had.
Yeah, some really good ones out there. Say like the Jimbo. That's one of my favourites.
Oh gosh, you can use that in cooking, definitely.
Definitely.
What's your favourite today, Ed?
I don't know. Do you know what? I was actually really impressed with the Strike. I think it might be because I've had all the others quite a lot because I like them, and I've not really tried this one before. So I think, I think the strike's actually blown me away more than I thought it would.
I think for me, the Michela's my surprise. I was surprised how much I like that. Well, actually, I'm also surprised at how much I like the cola, actually, because
yeah, you're a bit more surprised with that.
I knew I was going to like the kombucha, but I hadn't really tried that one, so that sort of blown me away slightly. And then I'm just amazed that Strike keep knocking it out of the park, really, with a really good drink. So yeah, that's really exciting.
No, it's a really good box this month.
Oh man, I really want the Strike for our student bar that we're doing with some of the funky. I need to sort something out. There will be people who want cocktails.
Yeah,
we need to do that. Excellent. So, guys, a really interesting box this month. And next month is October. So we will have a special box which will have some of our sponsors for the festival in it. So there'll be some Lindeman's wine. There will be some Liar's brand new pink gin, and one of their mixers, which I think might be the Classico, will be there. And there's something new and exciting coming from Lucky Saint in that box as well.
Ooh.
Then we have to decide what else we're going to put in, Ed. Maybe people could let us know what they'd like to see, or they've seen but they haven't tried yet and would like to try.
Yeah,
that would be really good.
Really good.
And then we can put it in the box. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I should put a link to subscribe. That would be handy.
That probably would be handy.
That's what grown-up marketing companies do. We should remember to do that, Ed. So do go to wisebartender.co.uk. Wait a minute. Look there.
Hey.
On the website. You could also do /joinclubepisode.com/drinks drinks guide, and you'd get details of the boxes there. But do go to Wise Bartender, find our subscription box. Do tell us if there are things that you want to see, things you want to try, things you've heard about but you're not sure whether you want to buy yet, and you wouldn't mind putting it in the box. This is all about helping you discover some of the new drinks that are out there, not just us having a good old time with things that we think we're going to like. So, cool. Thank you, Ed.
Cool. No, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for watching and watching again. Brilliant. Speak to you soon. Bye.
That's it.